All righty. Hey, I'm Lisa Ealy, and I am your HR Profit Strategist here at HR for Profit. And I'm coming in with our second iteration of Profit First Friday coaching. So today I am tremendously blessed and highly favored to have Emem Washington, the lead, speak, and impact leadership, really, of her company, where she also does leadership consulting and is a TEDx strategist. And I'm gonna tell you, if I could get in some questions about that, I would, but that's not our focus today. So I'm gonna ask her to introduce herself to us, and also forgive me. Y'all know that I have problems pronouncing people's names, so if I messed your name up, please correct me.
No, you said it perfectly. Hello, Lisa. Hello, everyone. My name is Emem Washington. And as you said, I am the CEO and founder of Lead, Speak, and Impact, where we help leaders elevate to thought leaders through speaking, public speaking, whether that is on the TEDx stage or other stages that are meaningful to them. So I'm happy to be here.
Awesome, I appreciate it. So this conversation is not planned. Um, I have not given you questions in advance, and we haven't really talked in depth about your business and what's happening. So
Right.
this is just meant to be a natural conversation. um, and also my desire, my hope, I'm going to say my prayer, is that inside of the time that we have together, that we're going to be able to solve or get you moving towards the direction of releasing yourself from a major problem related to people, process, or profits in your business. So let's start with exploring some of the most pressing issues or opportunities that you're facing in your business right now that you feel like are related to people, process, or profits.
Yes. And I think this is so timely. I have been operating pretty much as a one woman show from the inception of my business, except for the fact that I have had virtual assistants who've helped me with uh, graphics. Some at one point in time, I had a virtual assistant who helped me with tech type of stuff, but and I've grown in that space, so I can do much of the tech, and when I need help, I will reach out. So where I am right now is I have I recently engaged two new virtual assistants. One, she started working with me at the end of last year. Another one who I was hoping would be more advanced, I reached out to a virtual assistant firm or company. Well, they reached out to me, and so we went through the process, and I hired somebody from there. Hired, is that the word? Engaged somebody from there.
Mhm.
And the struggle I'm having right now is that I'm wondering, is it my communication? I'm not getting the results or the quality of results that I expected. And, um, and I'm pretty much a down to earth, patient type of leader person. And so I don't mind coaching somebody into or teaching somebody how to work with me, because I know that that everyone's style is different. But I'm struggling right now because the quality of the work doesn't meet my expectation, and I'm having to go back in and change things up, and with the virtual assistant that has been with me since last year. The one that I just recently engaged, I had her do something real simple, I thought, and what came back, like, my teenage sons would have done a better job, and maybe that's That's the answer to my question. So anyway, that is my struggle right now is uh, for the, I know you get what you pay for. I'm gonna put that out there. For where I'm at in my business, what I can afford is is to hire a virtual assistant from a foreign country. Just compared to the pricing that I've seen here in the U.S., I'm not at that space right now. I hope to be. But then, how do I navigate getting the right kind of skills for what I'm looking for?
Yeah. So thank you for giving all of that, that backdrop. So I know you said, and I want to just clarify a couple of things, that you have 2 virtual assistants. You have one virtual assistant that's been with you for almost a year, since last year.
Yes.
And you feel like the quality of the work that's delivered is not there. Is that correct?
It's not there. It's very inconsistent. Like one time it'll be great and I'll just have to make a few tweaks. Another time it'll be like, where did this come from? Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so let's dig in with the person who's been with you the longest, because you have the most invested, and you've also invested the most time, money, right, over excuse me, the distance. So in this case, what is the person's title, and what, or lightly, I'm going to say title, they're a virtual assistant, but what are you having them do? What types of tasks, like the top 3 tasks that you're having them do?
Really just to create graphics, and by graphics that could be social media type. Let's see what I'm trying to say. Yeah, social media type posts related to TEDx. I'll give the content. Please make this look great. Another thing is if I'm creating a guide, and I still put that under graphics, like just to make things look pretty. If I provide the content, can you just make this look, pretty, presentable, professional, using my brand colors. So,
Those are the 2 things that you have the person doing. Okay, got it. So tell me a little bit about what do you feel like you gain if you could solve part of this issue today in our session, and how would you define success?
Yeah, I mean, I think what I would gain would be just some of my time back, excuse me, because again, having to go back in and either, my time, and success would look like some form of clarity on how to resolve this. I feel like there's potential with this person. I just need to know how to address it without, being offensive.
Got it. Okay. So, and then the one final question, and then I'm going to, of course, the coaching style is questions and then digging deeper and then identifying what potential solutions could be. So how many hours, you could say a week, a month on average, is this person doing these activities?
I would say 20 to 40 hours a month.
Okay, so 20 to 40 hours a month.
And it's usually on the upper side, like 40 hours a month.
So 40 hours a month. And is the expectation that you're posting every day, multiple times a day, 7 days a week?
That would be the goal. But I guess that's the expectation. Yes.
Right. So then some days trying to post even multiple times, because I'm seeing that as a trend, is that people are posting morning, noon, and night, kind of, right? So that's even like, so if you said we were able to do that 3 times a week, that'd be better. But ideally, they're posting, creating something that you can utilize to post on a daily basis. So are you using multiple different types of social media posts? So for example, a video of you talking, a picture with a quote on it. You might also use like a GIF, or you might be in front of someone that's talking on a TED talk and you're agreeing or engaging with the content, or like a split screen. So are you doing all the different types of posts, or are you only focusing on static posts with text and emojis and a call to action?
I'm doing pretty much all the different types of posts.
Okay, so you're doing all the types. Got it, got it. So let's go back a little bit further. So tell me about how, so you have a brand board. Awesome. I have a brand board, but I need help. But I do have one. And so that is great. So tell me this. When you initially onboarded this, and we're going to say team member for, just like general terms, what did that onboarding process look like? What were the activities that you did?
Yeah, so we hopped on a Zoom call and I just explained a little bit. I explained about my business, what I do. I went through and showed some samples of graphics and social media posts, things that I've created myself or maybe had others create for me, just to give an idea of my vibe and the kind of look that I'm going for. I We talked about the time difference and my understanding of that, and just the expectation is not that if I send you something to in the morning my time, I recognize that there's a time difference. So it was really just a Zoom session for about 30-45 minutes where I talked a lot about what my company, what my brand is, my expectations. I also did say that because I'm one of the struggles that one of the challenges that I recognize that team members may have with me is I am not the map out, plan out type of person. And so there might be some things that are spontaneous more often than not. So I did ask, is that something that can be, that she can work with? And she responded yes. But frankly, I've been more planned out than I actually thought I would be. So I don't think the issue is that. So back to onboarding.
So you did the 40-minute session.
Mm-hmm.
You shared samples to get your vibe.
I also got a sample from her. Like I asked for samples from her of work that she's done before. And yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, and then ongoing, how are you engaging with this team member? So are you huddling once or twice a week? Like how are you giving her the work assignments and then following up?
That's a great question. We are not huddling once or twice a week. We communicate through either Messenger or Trello.
So then she doesn't get to hear your voice. Am I correct?
Speaking to her, that's correct.
You do not speak to her at all
On
a regular basis.
Not on a regular basis. I mean, some of the messages I send through Messenger are voice messages, voice notes, but not a one-on-one conversation in real time. No.
Got it. Got it. So that's challenging, right?
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, so let's just walk this through. So And I'm going to walk through something that you do. So you're going to, you help people to get TEDx talks.
Right.
And if you were coaching someone so that they could get the transformation that you want, and you say, the transformation that I need from this team member is I need a higher quality of, I'm just going to say social media assets. Because
Okay.
I don't even know what them things are called, but I'm
Yes,
going to say,
that's what they're called.
right? Social
Yeah.
media assets.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to coach you to get a TEDx talk. We're going to talk one time for 45 minutes so I can understand what you want. And all of our interfacing is going to be on Messenger, some voicemail notes, and Trello. But I am here to ensure your success and that you reach your ideal transformation, which is to land on a red dot. How does that feel?
Yeah, I mean, that first of all, I would not do. That's not how I work with clients. It's definitely not how I work with clients. And yeah, so as you're putting it that way, even when you ask the question, you know, it dawned on me that okay, that's something that I should do if I were working in an office with this person face to face, or if they were a full-time employee or whatever. I would expect to have regular meetings at least for 30 minutes or just something once a week to set the goals and put things in place.
Okay.
So, yeah.
We're having some breakthroughs now. We're having some breakthroughs.
Absolutely.
So if this person were your client, right? Because the work they are doing is for your clients.
Right.
It may not be forward facing to them, but ideally the work that they are doing is for your clients to understand who you are. But if this person doesn't get to interface with you on any regular basis,
yeah,
only through voicemail and Messenger and Trello, right? The expectation of them getting it, and you know, there's time and distance, there's cultural differences, and there's a language barrier, right? As well.
Yeah, right.
So if you were going to say, you know, I'm already operating at a certain way and creating an amazing transformation for my clients, if you were going to adapt a piece of that, right, to say, I'm not sure, it sounds like you might be spending 5-10 minutes on let's just say 5 minutes on 7 pieces of content a week. Let's just calculate that. Quick math. 5 minutes times 7 is 35 minutes. So if you had one huddle a week for 15 minutes, that could prevent you from doing that. Or even if you didn't huddle and you did something else, which I'm going to ask you about, right? Well, that one thing, so minus 15, that gives you 20 minutes back. And it's probably more, and that's an underestimation.
Right.
Right? From that standpoint, because it's probably more than that, because I can relate. You go in there and then you just keep going. Next thing you know, it's a half hour.
Right.
So it's literally, so that's the low end. The high end could be, let's just say 20 minutes times 7 pieces of content. That's 140 minutes times 60 is 2 hours and 33 minutes a week. And you're redoing work that you're paying someone else to do.
Right.
So then that's like, multiply that out, right? At the end of the day. And then how it feels, the frustration that you have, you know, the built up anger and some resentments and other things. And also, how is that impacting how you're operating as a leader in your business? Because what you said to me was, and I heard it really clear, that if you could invest now more money, you believe that investing more money would fix the issue.
Right.
But not if you onboarded the person this way.
Right.
I don't know. if money could fix that?
So I would first have to do my part and do better and see if that fixes the issue. And then, yeah, even if it doesn't, there's a better way for me to communicate and engage with a team member.
Got it. So based on how you communicate and engage with your clients, for them, just the one part of your business to get a TEDx talk. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna keep saying it, get on the red dot, right? Because they want to get on the red dot.
Right.
What methods that you're currently using that you're comfortable with, that you garner results for people and that gets them talks, that you are willing to take into consideration in how you communicate and engage with them to get the transformation that they want with this team member so that you can get the transformation from her that you want? So brainstorm that a little bit. What are like 2 or 3 things you could do?
Yeah. So one is what has already come up, which is the huddle and more regular face-to-face, even if that's virtual interactions, where it's an exchange in real time. That's one. Number 2 would probably be like at the end of our meeting, our huddle, like a recap of, okay, here's what we talked about, just like what I do with my clients, a recap. And if there's next steps or assignments or, action items, put that in that communication as well.
Okay, so huddle face-to-face, a recap that's written. Anything else?
How do I deal with my clients? We have recorded sessions and I send them the recordings. To me, that might fall under recap as well.
So can I make a recommendation with the recording?
Sure.
So this is what is falling on me. So why not do a recording? And I don't know if your team member is batching this, right? So maybe you're batching it in 14 days, right? And then as things happen, so I'll interject some things that have happened recently. So we know that interest rates went up, and like for the work that I do, that impacts businesses that I work with. We know that last week Barbie came out.
Right.
We knew Barbie was coming out.
Right.
So a month ago, you could have planned some of that. But when you started seeing what other people were doing and saying about it, so for me, I incorporated it in my social media and I said, do you want to live Barbie's dream life or yours?
Right.
Right? Right at the end of the day. So do you want to live your dream life and get on the red dot? Or are you trying to live Barbie's dream life in this cardboard dream house? Right? No, I want the red dot. So still leaving room for that to say, like I'm going to change this tomorrow or the next day because this is kind of like I read something or saw something. And pushing it to like a 2-week window, because that helps with what we hear. And this is not my area about, what's trending now, right? Like it helps with that. So it's not like a whole month out, but 2 weeks out, and then doing a before and after recording for anything that you need to change, right? So then you're actually recording what you did.
Okay.
And talking it through, should you have to do that? So then now the person knows.
I like that.
This was the before that you sent me.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the during.
Yeah.
And then this was the after.
Yeah.
Right.
I like that because just before we got on this call, she just sent something over to me and I've completely redone it. And I was like, do I send it to her or do I just move on? So I am going to do what you just suggested, a recording and send that over.
So I'm going to tell you what I captured from what you said. Your biggest challenge is you said that you're not getting out of this team member the quality that you want, and you're having to redo too many things after this length of time that you've worked together.
Correct.
Right? And then you also said that you want to get your time back.
Yes.
Right? Because the time that it's taking you to make those updates, so that, you know, there's less and less and less. Like literally it goes down to maybe one thing you have to redo every out of every 14 pieces of content or 30 pieces of content or something, like getting closer and closer. So you said, one, you're willing to huddle. And what is a huddle? So let me say this. A huddle, I'm a big sports fan.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, football's coming around the corner. And before every play in football, they huddle.
Right.
Every single play. Not like they're practicing. If you know anything about football, like now people who are getting ready for football, like in schools, they do 2 a day. Sometimes they do 3 a days practice. They practice every day, right? They watch film even, and then they do other types of coaching as well, like agility coaching. They have like a, you know, the quarterback has a quarterback coach. They have a line coach. They have all this stuff is happening, right? So huddle, yes. And it feels like I wouldn't do a huddle more than once a week at the most, or once even every 2 weeks if you're going to do the 14-week plan.
Mm-hmm.
And I would make it face to face. For some reason cannot actually do it real time face to face, I would record it. And I'm going to give this as a hack for everybody. I would record it in Google Meets, because Google Meets does a transcript for free. You don't have to pay for it. Now, I know that, you know, some people have other tools that they've added on to other apps and all that other kind of stuff. But can I say it again? Free 99. That's free. The other thing I would say is that gets you the number 2 item that you wanted, a recap in writing of what happened.
Right.
Because then you can literally take that transcription and you can add some notes.
Yeah.
If you want, and again, saving time.
Right.
Right. So you're not like typing it all up and none of that. And if you want to, this is what I do with my clients. I do the key takeaway actions. I say them out loud. Then it's in the transcription at the end.
Right.
Your key takeaway actions. Number 1. And it lists it out in the it's like, it's amazing. I love it. And then the last thing was to record before and after when you do, so that you're continuing to engage with the team member and train them on what you like and why it needs to be like this. Right?
Yeah.
Right. And then make a determination on the thought process in some things. And maybe the beginning of part of your huddle, you know, might be, you know, if you want to say a sandwich, giving the feedback of what is working, what is the constructive feedback, right? And then supporting the fact that they can do it. But making sure that you identify the things that are good posts that you really did not need to change at all, so they can do more of that.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And then less of the other things. So of that, how does that feel for you? How is that sitting? Does that feel realistic?
Absolutely. It does. And it feels realistic and doable, and like, I'm trying to say, I'm not trying to use the word basic, but what I'm trying to say is I should have I didn't even see this, and it's right. I should have been able to see this. Like it's what I would want a leader to do for me or with me. Right.
Right. Yeah. So I'm glad you said that, because that's why I'm here. Right. That's why I do this. So I don't recommend people, like, you don't have to buy this tool. I'm going to say, I'll just use it. It has nothing to do with this. Like, buy a vibe board to fix this. Like, you don't do any of that. Like, literally, these are things that you're already doing with your clients.
Right.
That you're comfortable with doing, and it's getting them a transformation. So why wouldn't it get your team member a transformation for what they're delivering to you, so that you can get more clients and deliver more of a transformation? So final question is, so how committed are you to doing these 3 things? And is there anything that I can do to help you to stay accountable to get it done?
Number one, I'm highly committed to doing this because, as I said, especially with this team member, I do see potential, and it's not her personality is such that I can work with, and vice versa. So I'm committed. And as far as accountability, I mean, I guess, whatever that looks like. Like, you can send me a message in a week or 2 and ask, did you do it? How's it going? What's the progress? That would be good.
Sure, absolutely. So I'm going to say, as your big takeaway, you have your 3 things, is to set a date and a time for the first huddle and talk about what you're going to do, and then follow up, right? From that standpoint. So I will say, since we kind of agree, I think you're going to do the 2-week thing. So over the next 2 weeks, you should have had your first conversation.
Right.
And so I'm going to put it on my calendar to follow up with you about this as well. And I just want to say this in general. One of the things that we do offer at HR for Profit, and the reason why, is we assist with onboarding new team members for this very reason, because how you start a new team member is how they will end up.
That's good
as well.
Yeah.
And it's like one of those things, like you said, like, it's so simple, but it's right there. But we're running at light speed in our lives and in our businesses. And we don't often think that how we already operate is how we should be operating with our team. So let me say this. Was this helpful to you?
Absolutely.
Was it worth it?
Yeah.
Right? We pretty much got done like in 30 minutes. Like, so my coach says that you can thoroughly coach someone in a deep level in 30 minutes. So I'm going to leave the last word for you, but I so appreciate you coming on this forum to allow this coaching to happen, and to be vulnerable, to have the courage, be authentic, and share a real life issue that we were able to solve together, and to share it with this audience. So you have the final word. Thank you.
Well, my final word is thank you. I appreciate the coaching. I appreciate the breakthrough, and I'm excited about what this will look like for this team member and myself, as well as future team members to come. Thank you.